Hey everyone, welcome to Geek Rant. It's Greg here again on the channel with Toby and Sarah. And today we're going to do our 2022 review. Okay, well, we're now gonna sort of choose our favorite TV series of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's been interesting. We'll go around the same route. Why don't you go first,
same
Sarah?
order. Same order.
So I wouldn't have said that I was going to say this again. This is another one. So earlier in the year, there were so many things I was looking forward to.
Yes.
Most of them failed to.
Yeah. I think it's been a year of that to a certain extent, isn't it?
Yeah.
And my favourite series of the year, watching it, when I think back on watching it, I was hooked on it, is Stranger Things. I have to tell you, I was blown away by this latest series. I think it was phenomenal. I think it was, we just watched it within a couple of days, back to back. We were absolutely obsessed with it. Obviously, Sadie Sink was the star of the show.
Totally agree.
And I just would watch it again. I was almost tempted to watch the latest season again because I thought it was just so excellent. Like that quickly. But yeah, no. So it's Stranger Things for me. I loved it. Loved the music. Loved the layout of it all. Just loved it.
Yeah. And I think they picked up a couple of, they picked up on a couple of iconic things, didn't they? And I think that the whole Kate Bush vibe really because she got number one, didn't she? I think it's the longest gap between number one or something like that.
It is, yeah. No, I agree with you, Sarah. I enjoyed the first couple of series. The third series was okay, and I think I was concerned it was starting to get a bit too samey, and for some reason this series seemed to change it a bit, didn't it? It seemed to bring it forward and in a much better way, and there were some really powerful moments, weren't there? With the kids were a bit older as well. Maybe that helps them being a little bit older to be a bit more better acting and that sort of thing. But yeah, there was some iconic moments in it, and like you say, the Kate Bush bit where she's running to get out of the thing was fantastic, wasn't it? I think the
only problem they had is go on.
I was just gonna say, I think they must have put a lot more into it as well to bring it back, And they also split the series, didn't they? So they had the first few episodes, and then they had a few weeks gap.
I thought that was a pretty good idea. Actually.
That was a master stroke.
It hyped big time, didn't it? For that. Yeah. But the only problem was it ended with the running up the hill, and it was never going to eclipse that. Unfortunately, that was like the best bit in the series. Although it's still great at the end, but and the moments where he's playing the guitar on the top of the the trailer's brilliant. But a wonderful series.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
What's yours, Toby?
So I picked House of the Dragon.
Yes.
And I mean we've all hyped this one up. I mean, it is totally awesome. And I think it's weird because it kind of had a lot going against it in my mind. Like the end of Game of Thrones wasn't satisfying, wasn't it? It didn't satisfy us. It was okay, but but then we were kind of like, what are they going to do with this? How are they going to make it like they did? And I think they did a couple of really amazing things. They were bold enough to cast certain actors in certain roles, and I think that we had Millie Alcock as maybe potentially the favorite kind of newcomer actor to appear, and she was brilliant as Rhaenyra. And then we had Paddy Considine, who is kind of like rediscovered this actor who appears as King Viserys, and he was so good. I mean, I just think back to his performance a lot, and I keep taking stuff from it. It just because it's so sort of tragic and sad.
It is, yeah.
And he's like he's like this hope while the world around him is falling apart. And
he's like a good king, isn't he? He's a good king, and he's the one that's deteriorating and dying and just falling apart. And you sort of think, there is no justice in the Game of Thrones world, is there? No fair.
Illness has seeped into him and made him ill.
Yes, it was infecting him as it went along. The rats were there, and he was getting more deteriorated, wasn't he? As he died. Oh, that was grim, and it was visceral, and I felt like it was almost like again. I think I'm connecting to this year with stuff coming out of the COVID period. For me, it's very much about reflecting on something that is dying or died, and I think that I've sort of been drawn to that through these shows. But I just thought there were just so many great elements to this, and the politics and the kids are great in it as well. Some of the younger actors, I thought they were fantastic, and just brilliant directing, and just really, really enjoyed it. And that was Ryan Condal, and really, really good. And I even like Matt Smith in it. After the first couple of episodes.
He really got into it, didn't he?
Yeah, the beginning.
It was a superb series, wasn't it? And they really did bring it back to what we liked as the Game of Thrones, didn't we? It really sort of brought it back. The showrunners were guys that are real big fans of it and wanted to make sure it was going to happen in the right way. I think my only concern is we've got to wait a couple of years before the next series. It's it's something that's a shame, but I'd rather than do it right.
That's becoming standard now. 2 years between. There's big these productions.
So much of it is special effects now, isn't it? And creating that. But
I'm happy to wait if it's that good. I'm happy to wait.
Exactly.
I don't want to rush into it. This isn't.
No.
We don't want everybody to be Disney here, do we? Let's face it.
No. And the whole the next series is going to be like a war, so it could be absolutely phenomenal.
Well, apparently they split the years up a bit, so you got like 2 episodes, and they're big gap, and then 2 more episodes.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. Brilliant. No, it's definitely up there for me as well. And I kind of didn't pick it because I thought one of you two would.
Yeah. So how about you, Greg? What's your?
Well, it's funny because
no surprises.
I had 3 series in my mind that were the best series of the year: Game of Thrones, Stranger Things, and Andor.
Yeah.
Now, it's one of those things where we've watched so much Star Wars stuff over the last few years that it's been really poor, mediocre. The film
Mandalorian.
The Mandalorian has been good. I give you that, definitely. And I'm a big fan of The Mandalorian. And this is what they bloody well do to me, is they reel me in with one good series. Then they produce a load of shit. And then they've reeled me back in again with another really good series.
It was excellent.
Yeah.
I was one of the people, I'm going to sing my praises here. I was one of the people who had seen the trailers, seen what was coming, how they were talking about it. And I was thinking, this is going to be a good series. It took a little while, a couple of episodes to get into it. When it did, there was some really amazing stuff in there. We had great actors, Stellan Skarsgård giving his performances. There's a bit where he gives his whole monologue, to this. Andy Serkis was great in it. There were some excellent performances in it, and supporting actors. Toby might not say Andor himself was the right guy, but he carried it through. He managed to get through and carry it through, and it was ultimately just, this is how Star Wars should be for me. Get back to the principles of proper sets, proper things, you know, that it's not all just in a green screen and that sort of thing. I think that is something that really enhances a whole, and what they did there, you know, was exactly that. They built a whole town. They had there was so many different locations we went to and saw, you know. It was fantastic. You know, this was
imagine
like
what it would
Star
be like.
Wars.
Imagine how good it would have been if they had a better lead instead of Diego Luna. That would have been interesting.
I think it was perfect.
It was a great series. It was like you say, it was a really great. It was about character. It was character driven, wasn't it? It was about you know, how that was all working through in his life and what the situations he got in. You know, it was. Well,
really we were potentially more interested in what the other characters are doing, but I do agree with you. I think it is an amazing show, you know. So I loved it. The first 3 episodes you have to kind of stick with it, but then it gets bloody amazing.
I thought the storyline was excellent, like the whole stealing the money and then him going on to the prison and finding out what the Empire are doing, and that's how you know, and I just thought the story was just perfectly written.
Really good.
Definitely.
Really
and
good.
you don't find that very often now, do you? Most of the time the story is tight and you're looking at the people and hoping that the actors are good. But
when you look at like the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, that was basically just them wanting to get Darth Vader and Obi-Wan to have a couple of lightsaber battles, wasn't it? The rest of it was just filler shit, wasn't it, really?
It was nothing going on with it. They had a couple of good bits on Tatooine, I thought, were they're interesting about the farming those whales in the thing. Oh, that was interesting. But little bits but, here and there, but it was pathetic, really badly written as well. You know, I think if you can look back, I mean, we've picked out 3 great series, you know, and I would say that these 3 series we've picked out here could be in the top 10 for the last 10 years.
Maybe.
You know, I reckon they're that good.
They have been that good, haven't they? You know,
surprisingly,
Toby, that's quite a big.
No, I think those 3 series that we had, they're flipping amazing.
They stand up with all these others, really do. I do agree.
And I think it's weird in the sense, as you were saying earlier on, that we have a lot of crap this year. Around these 3 great shows, there's been some really bad shows.
Well, it's been an interesting year, but we are looking forward to 23, and we're going to be producing more videos for people to come and watch. Obviously, we'd love people to subscribe to our channel and like our videos. That'd be great. If you've got any comments, what's been your favorite film? Perhaps there's something we've completely forgotten about and overlooked. Let us know.
No doubt.
Otherwise, thanks very much for joining us tonight, and we will see you again soon.